Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Dr. Neha. I hope you all are doing really well and are all set to begin your preparation for NTA UGC NET English for December 2026. Exclusively for December 2026, we have started our series called as the WinNet series. And today's video is the third video that we are going to upload exclusively for December 26 attempt of NTA UGC NET subject English. As you can see on the screen behind me, today's video is about the pioneers of English language and English literature. The man who gives name to the age, and the age that bore him needs to be learned first. So in this video, we are going to talk about the social, political and historical background of the age of Chaucer. In this series so far, we have talked about the Old English period, exclusively about the Angles and Saxons and Jutes and how they become the permanent settlers of England. We have also talked about the most famous Battle of Hastings, year 1066, in which William the Duke of Normandy invaded England and became William the Conqueror. With his coming to the English Isle, English language became mixed with the French language. French became the language of the aristocratic elite people. Latin became the language of the clergy, and English masses were talking in the English Midland dialect. Even in the case of English language, we have also seen that how many dialects, presumably there were 5 dialects present of English language, and how during the time of King Alfred the Great, the man who promoted English learning through translation favored the Wessex dialect. From Wessex, we had shifted to the Midland dialect, and to Midland dialect will shift to the East Midland dialect, and now English today is a trilingual country. Bilingual, 2 languages. Trilingual, 3 languages. So far, before Chaucer appeared on the literary scene, there were 3 languages that were predominant in the English Isle, and those languages were, you need to know because that's a PYQ, England was a trilingual country. There were 3 languages that were dominant. First is the French language that came with the invasion of the Norman king William the Duke of Normandy, who conquered, and with his coming to the throne, we had association with the French language. Second, we had the Latin language that was already present as a language of educated accommodation and clergymen. So, it's a ecclesiastical language, whereas English was but the language of the common masses. But because this was an English Isle, the feeling of nationalism, the feeling of one language, one country was still missing. But yes, English people were yet to achieve it, but they will achieve it very soon. And with the advent of Chaucer's The Canterbury Tale, the famous English magnum opus of Chaucer's writing, English became the national language. Along with that, the series of wars that were being fought between England and France created this long feud. Earlier, England and France, they were in commune with each other, all because of the Norman conquest. They had the same king, William Duke of Normandy. He was ruling England, and at the same time he was ruling France. So in that case, England and France, they were existing together. But because now there was a feud, the long friendship between England and France was going to end, and as that friendship had a feud, English came up. English dominated. English nationalism came up. So we will learn all this in today's video. And this had been my style. I keep my focus attuned to the social political background, all because each writer, each work cannot write without inspiration. They have this inherent inspiration, they have this inherent instinct that they get from the age they belong to. For example, the father of English poetry, Chaucer, when he wrote his poetry, there are these nuances, there are these hints of the age that bore him. So the age that that bears a writer becomes equally important to understand. Jumping straight away on the literary work will not give you that sort of a critical idea. The way I am able to present you with the very fact that literature mirrors society, I am trying to prove that, but that has already been proven. So without just focusing on the canonical works will not get you good understanding. In order to have that level of comprehension, because every year the competition is increases, please do not drag me into that I'll comment on June 2026 examination. That was it really tough? No, it wasn't. But December attempt of NTA UGC NET 25 I'm talking about was really a challenging paper. So each year there are these fluctuation of exam being easy, moderate and tough, and at the same time unknown. So it becomes very much important to have this whole complete holistic understanding of British history, because that makes most part of our examination. So coming back to the age of Chaucer, because the students who are going to sit in this examination for the very first time, they need guidance like that. They need to know what has to be studied and how it has to be studied. So this is the way. First of all, clear your doubts of the chronology of the history and then read the major writers. So your history notes will have to be like that. First page should be of the historical, social, political background. You need to know that who is a ruler, and after that you should come on the literary background, who are the major writers. So in this very video I am going to give the complete overview of the age. But yes, this is just video number 3 in the WinNet series, but part 1 of the age of Chaucer. So necessarily there will be part 2 of age of Chaucer also. So the 3 parameters that mark the social, political and historical background of the age of Chaucer. Look here, age of Chaucer is from 1350 to 1400. These basically 50 years are very important. They are based to the English that we are learning today, speaking today and using today. So the 3 parameters that are important in this age are: first is the Hundredth Year War. The Hundredth Year War is primarily the war that was fought between England and France. Second is the Black Death. Definitely I am going to tell you the major years also in which these events took place. And third is the Peasants' Revolt. If you have complete idea of all these 3 ruling important events of the age of Chaucer, you are sorted with the political, historical and social background, and I will take them up each one by one. That is why I said this video is definitely going to have part 2 and even part 3, because the Canterbury Tales, we are going to deal with that also in complete detail. That's what we promised in our WinNet series. Please do like this video. What all I am asking from you is to like this video and comment your remarks. So the Hundredth Year War, first of all we will talk about the Hundredth Year War in detail. Hundredth Year War took place between 1337 to 1453. These are roughly 100 plus years, and this war was fought between England and France. The long drawn friendship between England and France in view of the Battle of Hastings and Norman conquest. All that friendship was, all that commune was going to end because a war was being fought between England and France. Because of the reason is, first you need to know this: the Hundred-Year War, the relations that England had with France were now challenged. They were challenged because King Edward II, you need to know the history first. King Edward II, who ruled from year 1307 to 1327, he was a failure. He failed to give economic stability. He failed to give economic identity, economic nationalistic identity to the state. And as the result of which, people were against him, nobles were against him, because his economic understanding had been but a failure. So nobles were against him. One nobleman, Roger Mortimer, he married Queen Isabella of France, and with the aid of the Queen of France and French nationals, he waged a war. He overthrew the throne of King Edward II and became king for good 3 years. So this was the aliens. Once again, that was because King Edward II was not a good king. He was not able to manage the nation of England, as a result of which one nobleman who married a queen from France, that French people aided him, French nobles aided him, and he married and he overthrew the throne of King Edward II, and for good 3 years he ruled. And after that, Edward III claimed his throne back. Edward III claimed his throne back, and that is why English nationalism was once again established. England and France, Edward III continued to have grudges against French people, grudges against France. So as a result of which, this feud or this fight was strengthened with the French king, who demanded feudal duties from Edward III for his properties in France. See, French king demanded taxes from King Edward III for his properties that he had in France. And French king, after the death of French king also, Edward III demanded that he be the king of both England and France. But now, because the relations were disrupted, this was not possible, and as a result of which, this angered King Edward III, and he made a full-term attack on France. These two nations were attached to each other, were associated with each other for more than 3 centuries now. And now, after this feud over the property, after this feud over the throne, this problem resulted into the Hundred-Year War. I hope it is completely clear to you now. Hundred-Year War, once you know the background, your understanding of the age becomes much more clear. See, England, there were the series of war. On and off, this war kept on going. England won series of battles. Some battles were fought at, for example, Battle of Hastings. It is known as Battle of Hastings because it was fought at Hastings. So England won. Primarily, England could not win this war, but it won some of the battles, and those some of the battles were Battle of Crecy, Battle of Poitiers, and Battle of Agincourt. Screenshot ले लीजिए, बैटल ऑफ क्रीसी 1346 इंग्लैंड ने विन किया, बैटल ऑफ पोएटियर्स 1356 में इंग्लैंड ने विन किया, बैटल ऑफ एगिनकॉर्ड 1415 इंग्लैंड ने विन किया, and the method that they were using to fight in this war, that's another PYQ, that's long bow. So why I am talking to you in such a detailed manner? Because each year, as I've already said, the competition is increasing, and it becomes important for us to, because we are going to do a very deep down study. So if you know all these pointers, and they may ask you in the chronological manner, they will mention Battle of Agincourt, they will mention Battle of Hastings, and they will mention Boer War, that war during modern Victorian age. So when you are asked to arrange them in chronologically, you will get to know that Battle of Hastings, that was fought in year 1066, and then Battle of Crecy was fought in the year 1346, and then Boer War comes down in the 19th and 20th century. So if you have this historical understanding, your understanding of history becomes much more clear, and the method they use to fight in this war has already been asked, that is the longbow method. So another important event in the history of English literature, history of in English history, from say 1350 or 1340 to 1400, first is the Hundredth Year War, and second is the Black Death. This Black Death is a natural calamity, natural pandemic that reshaped English Isle, that reshaped English lives. Why? Black Death, it's a disease, it's a pandemic that starts with the flea that rests on the skin of rats. Because of these rats, this problem spread, and that virus is known as Yersinia pestis. Because of this virus, this pandemic happened. This disease spread from rats to human beings, and it was so adverse. There was no antidote to it, no vaccination for it, and as a result of which this pandemic grew uncontrollably. It grew, and as a result of which 1/3 of English population was swept away, was dead. 1/3 of population, leading to the lack of clergy, leading to the lack of clergymen, of even if they have students, they do not have teachers. Because of this disease, black blisters, black sort of pimples, they grew on the skin of people who were infected by this pandemic, and as the result of which it definitely led to death, and their body, the persons who were infected by this disease, what they faced, their bodies were turning black, and that is why it is known as Black Death. And also in Christian religion, because of this some sort of racism, I would like to say that black has always been associated with the evil, and because of this connotation also, this is known as Black Death. But primarily the scientific reason of this pandemic being called as Black Death, because of the black blisters that appeared on the skins of people. This pandemic happened in the year of 1348, and it resulted in the very fact that 1/3 of the human population, English population, was swept away. Now, lack of clergy, lack of teacher, lack of merchants, England's economy had to be rebuilt, and on the above all that upsurging war that was going on between England and France. See, 1337 to 1453 are long years, and in between the pandemic happened, in between the economic fight, the social fight of the peasants revolt happened, in between the religious reformation happened, that was marched on by John Wycliffe, who is known as a morning star of reformation. There were these social questions, political questions, historical questions, religious questions. This led to the English nationalism. The war that was fought between England and France made England an independent country, made England an independent identity, English and independent identity, nationalism. Pandemic was happening to rich people, to poor people, unity आई है. पेजेंट्स रिवोल्ट यूनिटी दिखाता है. इंग्लिश पीपल का फ्रांस के लोगों से, फ्रेंच पीपल से, फ्रेंच आर्मी से फाइट करना नेशनलिज्म दिखाता है. सो यहां से इंग्लिश नेशनलिज्म स्टार्ट होता है, एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ विच सबसे पहले जिस चीज को हटाया जाएगा वो होगी फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज. द फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज वाज कंप्लीटली नाउ इन द if you look at my previous videos, you will get to know that how French language entered the English Isle, and in this video you will see that how French language left the English Isle. French language was replaced by English language in the parliaments 1363, courts 1362, and French was replaced by English language in the year 1386. So these are important parameters. With the emergence of the English language, English nationalism appears. And this nationalism in the case of English literature was heralded by Geoffrey Chaucer, who wrote his prima facie modus operandi work, The Canterbury Tales in English language. That this person gives the name to the age because we are studying history of English literature, but literature becomes one of the movements in this nationalism, all thanks to Geoffrey Chaucer. Yes, there are historical reasons that why English became important. There are religious reasons why English became important. There are social reasons, and now we have the literary reason also. But I would like to ask you one thing very clearly. Do let me know in the comment section below. When we study Geoffrey Chaucer, we study the very fact that he has written works in French language, Italian language, and lastly he has written in English language. So why? Because he himself is an Englishman. Why he chose to write in French language first, Italian language second, and third in English language? Comment section is open for you. Do let me know this very fact in the comment section also. So on that note, let us once more see the very fact that another thing that I would like to highlight here is, because this video aims to give you the social, political and historical literary overview of the age, I cannot miss to give you the overview of literature. But before coming to that, let us talk about the Peasants' Revolt. This Peasants' Revolt took place in the year 1381, in between the Hundredth Year War. So what is this Peasants' Revolt? This Peasants' Revolt was basically fought by John Ball and Wat Tyler, and this aimed to revolt against the rippling tax that was implemented over English people by English king. King Edward III imposed and said that every person over the age of 15, I tell you, every person over the age of 15 had to pay 1 shilling as a tax in order to meet the requirements, in order to meet the financial requirements that are required for the war that is going on. And in order to meet that, the taxes were implemented on the English people who were above the age of 15. This led to the peasants' revolt. They felt that because first of all they are just coming over the pandemic that has happened. They have lost their monetary terms. They have lost their bread earners, and as a result of which they were just rebuilding themselves. And this rippling war, some people, they are losing their loved ones in the war, some they have already lost in the pandemic. So this peasants revolt was but a collective revolt against the supremacy of the king, who implemented this tax in order to fight this war. Yes, these people wanted this war to end because the idea of nationalism was already at upheaval. There was no need of this war. But yes, this war is going to continue up till the year 1453 for approximately 100 more years. So peasants revolt was fought by Wat Tyler and John Ball, and these two people collected these peasants, and this is not a very easy revolt. Many people lost their lives in this revolt only, but yes, because it was an English collective drive, it also gave way to English nationalism of the middle class, merchandise class. So that's also another fact about it. Now let us talk about the literature of the age. There are primarily 5 writers who belong to the age of Chaucer. Because Chaucer is a father of English poetry, he gives it the name. I tell you, my dear students, this is a part 1 of this video. You are likely to see part 2 and part 3 of Age of Chaucer. So do subscribe to this channel, like this video, follow this Winnet series, because this is one place where all your requirements will be met of the canonical writers and the canonical text. And right from the very start, we are focusing on PYQ. In previous videos also, we are focused on the PYQs, and in today's video, long bow method. And one more difficult question I would like to ask you here is, if you are preparing for this attempt, or you have been preparing for English literature, out of all these 5 writers, beta, can you tell me who is the writer who was against peasants' revolt? Comment section. So, Geoffrey Chaucer is known as the father of English literature. Then his contemporary being William Langland, John Gower. John Wycliffe is known as the morning star of Reformation because of his religious inclination of translating the Bible and making the Bible more handy. All because of the Lollards movement that he started. John Mandeville writes another form of literature, that is the travelogues literature, because at the same time exploration was also going on. Many people were exploring through traveling, through sea voyages, through land voyages. Yes, John Mandeville is important. And another inspiration that English people derived from Italian Renaissance. Yes, Italian Renaissance was at birth. Italy was the first nation to have this rebirth of learning, this revival of learning, all thanks to these writers, Dante Alighieri, Petrarch and Boccaccio. These writers influenced the father of English literature, Geoffrey Chaucer. But the prima facie, in this video, I have asked you 2 questions. First question is, why Chaucer choose to write English poem, the Canterbury Tales, at last? Why did he write in French language and Italian language at first place? This is my first question. Second question is, who among these is the writer who was against the peasants' revolt, who favored the very fact that taxes should be implemented, who favored the acts of the king? So in this video, this is all about today. I hope you have got to know much about this age. Please do like this video, share your reviews, and if you have any doubt, do let me know in the comment section below. And if you need to contact us personally, this is our WhatsApp number. You can leave a WhatsApp on this number, WhatsApp message on this number for any query regarding offline, online classes. But do subscribe to this Winnet series for more. Thank you.